the more time I spend here, the more tempted I am to do what the scientists said, to try and scale those walls on the sides of this town and try and see if those really are real trees. If there's anything beyond them, or if it's just a facade. I mean, in learning that, I would at least learn a little bit more about the nature of this place. Get a little further than my whole organization did. Especially since I don't want to go down that tunnel, I really don't like some of the noises that have been coming out of there. But I may not have a choice, because for as terrifying as that thought is, at least I'd be staying on the path, which I get the impression is what this wants, if it does want anything. Sooner or later, I'm gonna have to make a move. Hello, everyone, and welcome back once again to Gary's Mod. And today, the map we're gonna be exploring is GMBR Pitfalls. Sort of a sequel, a continuation of GMBR Complex, a pair of maps which aim to recreate the world of Kane Pixel's Backrooms series. And I've never split things up into parts like this. Even though they are technically two separate maps, there is quite a bit of overlap. See, I've come down here first because it's where I left off. However, the first one, we were in the backrooms, it felt like before we were in the backrooms, as the lab, the headquarters of the company we work at, was a sprawling complex worthy of a map all its own. We spent like an hour or more even just exploring that before we came in here. As far as I know, everything from the gate leading to the backrooms in our lab's sub-basement all the way up until here that we've seen is exactly the same. The only difference in the previous area is that the lab itself is not completely modeled. It's only the rooms immediately beyond the gate and a couple of hallways. Which means there's plenty of room to further explore what's beyond. So, let's get our flashlight. And I guess stop being so chicken. We're here, aren't we? We might as well see what's there. That's a sentiment that lasted pretty much right up until I was staring up at this huge hole in the wall. I mean, look at what we came from. There's no guarantee that what's in there will follow the normal rules of reality. I mean, just think of how terrifying a tunnel would be if there was no expectation that there was another end to it, that you'd see a light at some point. Private road, but wait. Right, I think that's Japanese. Huh. It actually sort of reminds me of... This is one Chillisart game I played. It was based on a supposedly real haunting location, a tunnel in the side of a mountain. Oh my. Oh, and it's starting to slope downward too. Light posts. Like a street lamp in the middle of this tunnel. Look at this. It's like gravity is even causing this thing to lean. I can just imagine my footsteps starting to quicken, both because of my panic and because of gravity pulling me downward, making it harder and harder to control. Oh no. Every time one of these lamps appears on the edge of my light, I think it's something standing there. I keep thinking that any moment I'll hear the echo of footsteps running up from around the corner that I can only imagine is there, and then I know I'll turn and pivot and start running, and honestly have no expectation that I'll be able to find the exit again, certainly not in time. Oh god, if I had to turn and run, I'd be running uphill. You have no idea what a relief that is. All right, let's go. It's a whole city. But it's still cast under that red glow from nowhere. Oh, it's a... Wait, that's a tree in the window, like an office plant. I don't think the scientists ever got this far. At least I didn't hear any mention of it. On the one hand, it's comforting. I'm looking up at all these windows with lights in them. Unlike the suburban street that we came from, it actually feels like there may be others looking down at me. Like if I yelled out for help, somebody would hear. It's just that logically I know that either there's no one in any of these structures to hear, or, well, if there is, it's no one I would want coming for me. There's a ladder over there. Okay, I'll make a note of that, but I'll come back to it a little later. These buildings stand on foundations over the hills. That's the thing about taking a scientific approach to liminality. It is every bit as exciting as it is terrifying. I mean, the whole thing just makes you feel not only so confused, but so small. Like this reveals something about the universe. Like, I don't know, like your entire reality has just been staring at pictures in a book for all your life. And now you're catching just a glimpse of what's beyond that room. And now you're just not equipped to handle it. You just have no frame of reference, and so even while seeing vaguely familiar things, you just can't place them in context. Cave in, of course. Well, I'll tell you what, let's do something the scientists never got to, and go off the trail a bit. Are these trees real? Is this grass real? Who knows? Oddly enough, over here in the dark, I feel somewhat safer. In the red, it's kind of like we're in a spotlight, like someone has spotted us and is going to be coming for us shortly. Here, I kind of feel like I can chill a little bit. Of course, the total lack of movement in any of these windows as my eyes scan them is still off-putting. I mean, have you ever been on the train in a big city? If you glance around at the windows of passing buildings, you'll see more people than you'd think. But that's how it is in the Backrooms. Everything feels much more like a representation, and not even a contextual representation. I mean, if you ask a child to draw something, say draw a city, they'll probably draw buildings and bridges and roadways, maybe buses and cars on the street, a train going by. With this, it's like it sort of has an image of what each of those things are, an image that they belong together, but it won't place them together in any kind of normal order. It seems to have vague associations and nothing more. For example, it knows that ladders lead to higher places, but not where one should find a ladder. I see that glow extends through the windows of these buildings. At this point, I'd want nothing more than to make my way to the upper floors. It's not like I think it would do anything, but I kind of have to. Oh my god! Oh my god! It's a cardboard cutout of the clown guy from Spawn. I think that's who that is. Vaguely familiar, but I haven't seen that movie in decades. Why is that here? I mean, look, I suppose there's no reason why a representation of a person couldn't be here, or a representation of something that looks like a person. It seems like just about anything can end up here if we could, but after so long of seeing nothing of the sort, that... I'm sorry, I'm just gonna keep going. We've got a long day ahead of us. But I know that I'm probably not gonna trust corners for very long. I don't really expect any of these to open. Unfortunately, it's our only lead, so one of them is gonna have to. Or we could continue back this way. You know, I almost prefer the glow from the windows. You know, I almost prefer the red light. Look at that. Are those windows even real? Is there even actually anything beyond them? Stepping into this, for a brief moment, I was thinking, I'm safe, or at least there was something wrong with me. I ended up wandering when I left work last night, and now everything's fine because I'm in civilization. I'm no longer alone, and nothing feels better. Until you start to look a little more closely. And once you realize that what represented safety is all fake, somehow you end up feeling much, much lower than before. This one did open. That door is ajar. I've not seen that before. Wait. Every door I've encountered has either been open or closed, nothing in between. Does that possibly indicate that someone else was here? Can it do that? I don't see why it wouldn't be able to. When you think about it, not every door is real, but the ones that are, the hinges do work. Okay, but it looks like we're getting closer to a back area. You know, liminality at its base refers to a transitional space, usually like a hallway or a stairwell. But I think it can also refer to a place in a period of transition. I mean, this, for example, it's got all these tables and chairs set out, while most of the floor space is empty with debris on the ground. And so it's kind of like this place hasn't opened yet, is open, has closed down, and is just waiting to be torn away. And that confusion of not being able to identify just what this place's deal is at this moment, for some reason, that's a little disturbing. Look. Does that hallway lead out and away? Well, it's gotten us further down. Blinds. Like, this section can be sealed off for privacy. It's like we're just leapfrogging, you know? One space over the other. That door is ajar. The Backrooms truly is an anomalous place of wonders and nightmares. Ah, yes. The transitional wedge A staple of all architecture. I just noticed there's a door on this side of the wall, but not on this one. This is not a pipe. This is not a sign. These are not trees. This is not a city, and this is not an office building. And it's like, no matter how much I cognitively understand that, my brain won't let me actually do anything with that information. Because there's nothing to be done with that information. And I feel like the brain, in a situation like this, just will not accept there's nothing that can be done as an answer. Why would it? I mean, survival-wise, there's no reason not to look for something, anything you can do right up until the end. It's just that this is that feeling constantly. And I don't think we were ever meant to feel like that for this long. Now that's something we've not seen. Objects end up here, we know that, but this one's been punched through the wall. We've actually seen damage, whether that's real damage or not is hard to say. But this really looks like somebody just punched it into the drywall. If this place really is infinite, as the scientists theorized, then that means it's entirely possible that there are always others here, right? That we could be walking through somewhere where someone was at one point? There is even a slim, remote possibility of encountering someone, but it's just so unlikely it's barely worth thinking about. That was here. Church bells? I've got to try all these things. That's what it sounded like. Thankfully, this seems to be taking on a more linear shape. Then again, more than before, I feel like I'm walking through the same things over and over. I can see more light down that way. A breezeway? Okay, we've seen furniture-covered doors. It doesn't have to make sense in its placement, but that looks more like an attempt at a barricade. We haven't seen anything this entire time. Presumably it was a rare sighting. Maybe it wasn't even recorded. But one of the scientists did report something running at them. This building is not responsible for damage, lost, or stolen items stored or left in this room. Look at that. There's other breezeways, but they seem to collide with the stars themselves, like they're just a wall surrounding this, like we're in a planetarium. Nothing makes sense here, and no matter how many times I learn that, there's just nothing below. Nothing but a fog that reflects the red. The one comfort you have in a place like this is seeing something new. The odd thing is, right now, this feels really good because it's not quite so oppressive, but it does still feel like a loss of progress. Return to work. Are you telling me you're pleading with me? Well, at least here the ceilings aren't quite so high. That's a little bit comforting. Hey, at least it's more or less evenly lit, right? And I guess there is always the remote possibility we could fall down one of those holes and end up back where we started. Then again, that was above us. Far above us. The thing I can't stop thinking about is the Nether. Like, is this a parallel reality similar to the Nether in Minecraft? And where we entered is actually just dependent on where we built the gate? Like, physically in our world? Maybe there are certain spots where that veil is weaker and it's possible for a person or an object to glitch through into the backrooms. But what if it's not just that? I mean, what if a million little rocks, a million handfuls of dirt go missing every day? What if whole stars can end up here? Oh god, is this so much bigger than just Earth? What is this? Let's try... No? Everything vanishes as I get close. But I am able to pick this up. It looks like some kind of clay or stone tablet. Huh. Like some kind of Mesopotamian Rubik's Cube. We could climb down there. I don't know if it would be the smartest move right now, since there's no way back up. Believe me, I already have plenty of experience with that. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. Not that I have any expectation of being able to find my way back to you, but I'll leave you over here by the rock. That way we know roughly where you are. I'm gonna say it's a real good thing I approached you from the rear. Now we can steel ourselves for what's in the front. I would have had the absolute crap scared out of me if I saw that staring at me when I rounded a corner. Well, that's the second cardboard cutout we've noted. A hat. So, when something ends up here, just what is that situation like? I mean, does the object vanish in our world, or is a copy simply made here? Is it anything immediately around it? Like here, we had the hat on top of the rack. But then again, we've seen things completely independent. A cardboard cutout, but there was nothing around it? Are you serious? Why are some rooms filled to the gills, and others are completely empty? Except for maybe one thing in the center. In fact, it seems here like it's copied an entire storage room and its components. Not to mention the freight elevator off to the side of it. A pair of empty, giant shoes. Right before drag stains leading into a dark hole. My mind is racing with possibilities, and I don't want to think about any of them, least of all the spatters aside the smaller holes. Those look like bare footprints alongside shoe prints. Wait. That would be a very unpleasant climb down. The carpet should keep us from sliding. But I don't know if we can fit there anyway. Look at that. It's a little hedge-trimmed bird with golf balls for eyes. welcome, but the text is inverted. There's food, drinks, medications. Oh my god, does this thing work? Oh my god. Okay, no, it's in this moment I realize I probably shouldn't be making noise right now. These stains are all over this place, like somebody was in here, something came in and dragged somebody right out of their seat as they were eating. This place, walking in, I was thinking, imagine if it was like a childhood home or something, but it seems like this place, if you were trapped here, would probably be the most likely place for you to want to settle down. Comfortable couches, some food, or at least things to take your mind off of this. Maybe they stayed in one place for too long and something found them. The worst part, though, is that it seems like that something may have at least been humanoid. Oh. You guys had a cage for Grandma too, huh? Yeah, sometimes when she starts having flashbacks, you just gotta put her in her place. Make sure nobody else gets hurt, and more importantly, that none of your stuff gets damaged. It's all expensive, you know? God, this all just feels frozen in time. This is unnerving me in a way that nothing has before or since in these maps. And even right now, I'm having that photograph effect. What is that? Look at this computer. It's like a snapshot of a home from the mid-2000s. Doesn't seem like we can open this closet. I also can't help but notice that this is all much, much taller than what we saw from the outside. The death card. I'm really struggling for this not to feel like it all means something. It looks like that TV might actually work. Aw, man, you got a 360? It's like death coming up out of the sea. In fact, if we look over here, we can see more of those stickers on the wall. God, I feel like I'm intruding, and I've seen evidence that whatever belongs here doesn't take kindly to intruders. There's another pitfall behind the shower curtain. If we come over here, we can't open this door. But we can see what looks like ancient murals beyond. Ornate columns and stone walls. I just don't know what to make of this. Like, do these people even really exist? I'm going to be fixated on this location in particular for a long time, I think. Locked. You know what? Maybe for the best. Maybe for the best, because I've got a lot of backtracking to do. So if I were to come through here, I have to crouch low enough for me to be allowed to get through. There's no comfort in a larger space. God. Whatever did this, and from the look of this, it was a long time ago. It was large enough to carry off a man and small enough to fit down these holes. Look, there's even a section of road running over the carpet. I'm thinking about it, and I think I'm probably just going to do like a sort of zipper explorer where I'll go a certain length of distance, and if I come to a crossroads, I'll come back and explore other avenues. So we've done a little bit in this direction. Now let's do a bit in the other. Because I don't know if I trust this one to be as linear as before, with one set ending. You stay where you are. Actually, can I move you? Oh, I can. There. Courtesy for the next explorer. Oh my god, it's all the little things that are just giving me heart attacks. It is showing restraint. I will give it that. This is showing a lot of restraint. The space speaks for itself. That's what makes the Backrooms work and be scary in my mind. I mean, sure, the thought of being trapped in them is horrifying, almost existentially, as well as on a base survival level. What we need is to jump down here. It's actually all we've got left. Yep. Nope. Am I late for the meeting? Sorry, scooch. Coming through. Well, at least we've got reclining seats. That's always good, right? This. It's covering something. Hang on. Okay, that's not gonna work. Maybe I can grab you? No. Maybe I can do some absolute unprecedented nonsense in these videos? There you go. That works. Hey, it's better than no clip, right? I had this exact carpet. Oh, what fun it was. Now, why is it here? You know, even though these things were mass-produced and a lot of kids had them, I still can't help but feel that it's mine in particular. It's not even a real door. The handle doesn't turn. What is this, an IKEA showroom? Don't get me started. It's the original liminal space. Why does that couch have a face? It seems like it's seen a thing or two. Looks fairly comfy. It's like that exit sign can't even be bothered. It's not glowing because it knows it would be a lie. This place can't decide if it's indoors or out. It seems like somebody really wanted to keep something out, though. Or in, whatever you want to classify it as. You know what this reminds me of? It's like some kind of outdoor seating area for a fancy restaurant. Look, it's got the pillars, the streetlights, the windows, and this could be like an overhang of a balcony above. It's just all taken the shape of interior walls. That's a full skeleton. Oh no. This place is actually playing comforting music. Maybe you just felt safe in here. That's actually 2 bodies. You just barricaded those doors, 3 bodies, curled up in here and waited to die. Unless you snatch the bones right out of someone's grave, which is also within the realm of possibility. But who could sleep here knowing that this is just around the corner? Do we start with the worst one first? No, unfortunately I need to lay off the wings because we're not getting through there. What about here? No. You know what? I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. Consider that a blessing. My curiosity would be the death of me otherwise. It's like the world is telling me, you want to know what made those bones? You don't want to know what made those bones. The security shutter opens. The security shutter opens. I did not think that would be the case. Thankfully, it doesn't lead to the back of where that was. However, this may be how those unfortunate corpses ended up here in the first place. And look, all over there's these tiny little empty picture frames. Part of me thought that maybe I would turn it and a wall would open up and all my coworkers would come out and be like, "Congratulations, you made it. It was an elaborate prank." Wait, now you do want to open. I couldn't get it to work before. I also cannot make heads or tails of this. It's like the back halls of a photo department. Like at a pharmacy or something. Hello. Okay, we'll save that for a little bit from now, and we no longer have to save it. But these pitfalls are one of the only consistent things. It just deposits you all over. Although we haven't really found many holes in the ground. Kind of makes me wonder where all of these connect to. If you had the right equipment, I suppose you could set up like a chain system and explore them in reverse. It's just another breezeway connecting the buildings. I had forgotten all about this, and here we are. And now we can clearly see that there is nothing down there. Why does this remind me of one of those demo showrooms in like a real estate magazine? A house that was never built to be lived in? It's just too pristine. It feels fake, like a movie set. Speaking of movie sets... Hang on. Okay, this reminds me so much of the little playset at my pediatrician's office. It's uncanny. Sounds like there is air coming through this vent. But of course, it's just another place for unfortunate souls to end up. I really am concerned with just what it would be pumping into here. I mean, it's strange enough that there is actually oxygen in this environment, this being a completely parallel world. The things we take for granted, huh? The things we take for granted indeed. It's almost like here it tried to correct itself. Like it saw the idea of a house and the playground outside of it, and that it sits on grass. But then it went, no, wait, this is an indoor area, and just made it green carpet instead. Maybe as far as it's concerned, I keep speaking as if there's intention, but maybe as far as it's concerned, they're the same thing. We can open these, but some are locked. And some continue the shenanigans. I want to leave this closed, because if I saw something slither around that corner, I think I'd just about drop dead right here. And then what would we do? We wouldn't be able to see any more weird architecture. This one does not seem to want to open at all. Huh. It's like some venue hall rented out for a party or something. This looks like right before every single event I have ever had to film. Now that just doesn't look safe. Yeah, it's like a backstage. I can't seem to mess with it, though. An old-timey radio placed into the on position, but with no signal to receive. And there's that image of the death sun again. We were watching what seemed to be a clip using imagery that is scattered throughout here. I don't know, maybe it's got a way of categorizing. Maybe it doesn't just randomly create things in this shape of furniture. Maybe when things end up here, it groups them together, like tries to place things where it thinks they should be. It kind of reminds me of the creepypasta Signal to Noise. Huh. You know, there was actually a note about how one of the radios in the lab did behave strangely at certain points in the complex. Is that an eye glancing to the side? A mouth in what could be a smile or a scream? And a whole lot in the miscellaneous category. You hear that? Can't seem to mess with this either. But I could mess with that. I don't know what I'm doing. All this seems just about laser guided to mess with me in particular. I mean, I've talked before on the channel about how I used to do theater work. But anyway, one of my favorite parts of that job was being able to explore these places because I would get to see them when they were empty. They were pretty creepy on their own, but when it was all in that, well, transitional state, when everything was laid out, waiting to be put away or put onto stage, when everything was just sort of waiting for its big moment, the silence between, it was a really eerie feeling a lot of the time. Actually, if you want to see something like that, I do have a video on the Patreon where I did a walkthrough of a place I was recording at a couple years ago. Oh man, there's so many branching paths that I want to go back and look at. Oh my god. I just got jump scared by a couch that didn't load in until I got here. Well, at least we know it's an optimized map. Oh, come on. Let me through. Push it this way. No. Don't want to hear from you. Don't want to see what's outside either. All this stuff is just piled up. Every once in a while, it doesn't look natural. There's decay. There's debris. Sometimes I think somebody's whole life just gets transported wholesale. But music seems to be a common theme here. I can just imagine here's where a skylight would have been. A mask that kind of resembles the sun. Oh no. A religious statue. We have long since reached the point where no scientist has been. But we've also missed about 50 different turns by this stage. Nothing up here. You know what? Let's avoid falling down. Maybe we haven't missed our chance. It looks like the back area of a store. When I was a kid, we used to go to this clothing shop when we went to a certain place on vacation, and it was really weird because there were a lot of ramps and stairs inside. It wasn't laid out like a regular store. And there was this one, like, half door. Like, literally, it was like, you know, shorter than me when I was a small child. And it was hidden behind a row of clothes, and that was just so strange. And the weirdest part was, it wasn't just like a little crawl space or something. If you crawled under the clothes and went in there, it was a whole room full of merchandise. You were meant to be able to get in there and buy stuff. Totally bizarre. Couldn't help but be reminded of it just now. I don't know what this reminds me of. All I know is that it's not the same texture as the other Backrooms, but it's similar. I really do have to ask the question of why that seems to be a sort of default state. I can feel my hair brushing the ceiling practically. I guess this room serves as the immediate outdoors of this house. I wonder if the Backrooms are so vast, so infinite, that not only are certain real places recreated, But maybe there's enough space in amid all this chaos for every space to have been recreated in some way. You're stuffed. Or at least I think so. Pretty stuffed. Look at that scribblings on the walls like a child would make. And yet every crayon is just pointed towards it, like bees swarming towards a target. An unfinished jigsaw puzzle, even mold on the walls. Like a house that sat vacant, never sold, but carrying a bunch of memories with it nonetheless. Now is not the time I need to hear the creak of floorboards. Or whatever that is, for that matter. I feel like I'm at the bottom of an empty pool. Come on. Or a bunker that's just activated its ventilation shaft. Of course, that couldn't be something as reassuring as daylight. But it all just came to life as soon as I approached, like it knew I was here. These yield signs, street signs, seem to be all over. Chairman Mao, I didn't expect to see you make an appearance on this map, but there was a lot of Chinese text back there. Is that supposed to be what we're seeing? Some rundown Chinese construction site? Imagine if it were even remnants of Kowloon. Although I don't really have much frame of reference for what that would look like on the interior, except for that one game I played based on it. I wonder, does this place deliberately make certain areas inaccessible? To go back to my contextless snapshot theory, maybe if we can't go somewhere, there is literally nothing around the corner. The stop sign looks like it's peeking out, ready to hide if something approaches. To be fair, any stop sign that flees from danger is no true stop sign. Wait, have I been here? No, I don't think I've been here. I don't think so. Hey, you guys, I'm a little bit overwhelmed right now. Not only by the space itself, but by everything I've left behind. Everything, if I can, I'll have to double back and check on. It feels like this place is winding its way inward and outward. But not moving consistently in any one direction. Well, I suppose that light sort of emulates a sunset. You gotta take your comfort where you can in here. We've just gone on a full loop. What if we come around this corner instead? Oh, that's nice. This wet floor sign includes a section in Braille so that blind people will know not to walk here. It even emulates the sunlight coming down. It's so strange to see references to still living people here. Yeah, that's not in English, but I'm pretty sure that's a movie called The China Syndrome. Is that the connection that places it here? It can be something as tenuous as that? There's Chris Chan's shirt. Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. We're back in offices, we're back in offices. If that second time we crossed over the breezeway is any indication, this is all contained within those buildings that we saw. All of it. Wait. Wait! No! No, no, no! After all this time, we've just made a full circle. If anything, that motivates me. If we can come back to someplace familiar, we'll just re-enter from the same place and take the turns we didn't before. Did we ever go through here? I don't think we did. Stuff like this reminds me of the last few days I lived in my old house. Everything's so bare except for the essentials. Something I'd known for so long, just completely empty. It was a strange feeling. Well, I don't think that fire door is going to do anybody any good. Can we start opening these cabinets? Oh, we can. Not. I don't know why I said can. Is that coming from the speakers? Just a few seconds of music here and there it'll play. Yeah, it's like a lab or a college or something. And it's giving me the creeps. Real at school after hours vibes, huh? And this is something I am quite familiar with. Alright. Well, if that's to be a dead end, then let's head back. All I keep thinking about is how much I can't wait to do the no-clip run of this place. Yep. There was more. I shouldn't have come down here first. I mean, everything is potentially a different tangent. This, however, seems to be quite appropriately play-place-sized. Only problem, it is a massive falling hazard for kids. A lot of broken legs on this playground. Kitty! Well, that's just a statue, though. Still a kitty, though. Hi! Hi, kitty. Alright. Where to from here, then? So many choices. There's a part of me that knows that there are limits to the size of a hammer map, and another part of me that knows that that limit is absolutely huge, so it's not much comfort. Oh, it's this place. We saw it from above earlier. And there's even more little cubby holes where some sort of void creature can crawl out and drag someone in. It's more likely than you think. Do what you will, beasts of Backrooms. I've grown accustomed to your hum. I see we've got those weird stretched out textures again. But an open door indicates I've been here. Doesn't it? I have been, but I didn't jump down. Why is the door open? Oh, look, it's one of those show kitchens. Like you would see at a furniture place. Okay, we can knock you over, but we are going to need to remove you from that area so that I can comfortably walk through without jerking the view around too much. Even the radiators don't make any sense. Although you can mount them that way. I have seen it done. I feel like a giant in here. Oh, look at this. An entire set of hallways that are brushing against the top of my head. The ceiling is so low. For reference, I'm about 5'6", 5'7", so not tall at all. And neither is this chair. Oh, are you making fun of me? Oh, you don't like those chairs? You're moving it out of the way? Here's one for you. Oh, and here's a hallway more to my liking. You know, since I've got so much headroom here. Chinese calendar, or a calendar with Chinese. Wait. Are these photos taken by the scientists? That's one of the rooms that we saw up above. But how did they end up here? Did they end up here? Or are they just another manifestation of this place? Alright, well, either way, I'm heading back. This was the junction. Oh, thank goodness. It looks like I'll be able to stand up ahead. I'm super glad I didn't encounter any creatures here, and this is the other end of this. It may not seem like much, but this marks a major milestone. Time when we start seeing how things connect and close off avenues. See, once we start seeing how things connect, we can start saying, okay, we don't need to go down this way anymore. That area, sealed off. Mentally, we make this place simpler. There is entrance to more space up there, but I don't think we can get at the ladders that are in there. Oh, I seem to have ended up back here briefly. I just want to point out those wood patterns on the wall. It's not the same, but it sort of reminds me of the tape we saw on the wall in the previous map. So I've been walking around for a while now trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do. And it does actually seem, at least as far as I can tell, like we've taken every turn. I can't look at a single place where I don't know where it leads. Except this. Kitty, I hope you're a good luck charm, because I'm all out of ideas. I kept speculating, you know, we've seen all these places where something can drop down, never seen places where we can drop down. It was how we moved on last time. Let's go. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! I guess it's good that our fall was broken by this drop ceiling. Huh. So that's why they call it that. Unfortunately, I'd rather have fallen the whole way and broken my legs. At least then it would be over with. Now I have to do it myself. Look, the walls are bare. I had to break my own rule to make this happen. I wasn't going to jump down unless I could see light like I could before. Well. Did you hear that? It sounded like a wolf or an owl or one of them wolf owls. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. VR sucks for this. I will say, VR is bad for falling. You hear that? There's like whispers, but from this angle I can't see what's on these ledges. But there are cracks in the wall there. In fact, there seems to be like a wavy pattern. Well, we're somewhere different. That's what I always wished for, right? And it very much seems like the goal is to get deeper and deeper. We are well beyond where any scientists have been now, that I'm certain. Only now I feel like I'm walking through a canyon, and something is watching me from the ridgeline. No way. You smashed right through. Look at this. It's like you were just cruising down the road one day, highway speed. Next thing you know, here you are with a wall in front of you. Who knows how long this has been here? That is absolutely horrifying, and arguably one of the worst aspects is just how you end up here. You can't know. It can happen to anyone at any time. And there is a rhyme or reason to it, maybe, but you'll never figure out what it is. Well, maybe our company did, but at least at this moment, it doesn't seem like we're sharing it with the world. Okay, there's things around that corner, but I'm interested in knowing where you ended up. Oh. Did you survive the wreck itself? Manage to get out and crawl around? Every so often, just every so often, we have encountered evidence of survivors. Even found a room with a few corpses. A neatly folded blanket on the end of the bed. It's some kind of bioluminescent overgrowth. This is the first clearly alive thing we've seen. It's like something about you impacting this room damaged it, caused the paint to start to peel, caused all this stuff to start growing around. But what does it mean? It's like truly alien, but unmistakably organic. And I don't think it's a coincidence that it's here in this room that the car plowed through. I just wish I had the means to take some samples. All I can think right now is that'd make a great hide-and-seek spot. It's almost as if maybe a human body broke down in here and this fed off of it. The blood trail leads straight to it. And yet there's none to be found. There are just so many absolutely haunting implications all over the place. And the fact that it's so rare, the fact that it's so diluted by otherwise the perfection of this or close to it, maybe all the damage we've seen, maybe every imperfection, every object has been caused by somebody else who walked through this same ground, who would have desperately loved to encounter any other contact and would have gotten it had they only the luxury of time. Now that's just a terrible thing to think about. The idea that, we could be trapped here, so isolated from all of humanity, and maybe we would have company in a year, a week, 100,000 years. I wonder if time is linear here. Now that's something I hadn't even considered. I mean, there doesn't seem to be any difference in aging, among the scientists that have come in and come back out. We seem able to reliably do it. But, it's just kind of hard to test for all this stuff, Alright, the only other way we could go was down that one ramp. No, that's not true. We can come over here. That is true, the ramp. And the random green glow. There was a room like that above, although it was much more muted. This actually contracts and expands, disappears entirely every few seconds. It's like this place reveals more and more to us with each level we descend. For all I know, this is the garbage dump, where it sends its refuse. Hey, look at that. I actually have so much traction on the carpet that I can kind of walk down if I angle myself right. Really work my ankles. Oh, ha, you're saying I need a high chair? Okay, now we're really in the showroom after hours. Only there's nothing in the room to show. Oh, never mind. The little kitchenette set. And it's like this thing is on. We're getting into the dark back area where we're not supposed to be, huh? Like a little kid who gets bored while their parents are shopping for furniture? You ever do that as a kid? Wander off while the parents are doing something boring, and you end up in some place you're not supposed to be? It's scary, but you don't turn back because back there is boredom, and there's nothing in the world that's worse. Really, for somebody who was an adventurous kid, this would probably feel like some kind of ironic punishment. This would also be somebody else's ironic punishment. Not mine, though. I don't know what this is for. You know, it's weirdly quiet, even for the places we've been all day. Night. Does it even matter here? And I've noticed the scaling has been changing up and down all throughout. And it's not the only thing. We're starting to see the classics, aren't we? Wait. Some kind of red button or pendant. I wonder if it has anything to do with the tablet we found up above? I mean, that's long gone. I don't think there's any getting back up from this. I just heard a faint, distant echo, like somebody tossed a rock against a wall. Just a small one that skips off. No, it's water dripping. Somewhere, yet there's nowhere for it to be. I know what I expect to see out that window. And there's no way it will be, but... It is. It is. Wait. Liminal Hotel. So I guess it really does copy real places. Also, there's a distinct opening up there beside the spotlight. The fact that this is a real place, and the fact that the one image of it became so widespread, however many years after it was built, whether intentionally or not, this gives a lot of people the creeps, but it's really probably not so bad in person. I mean, it's kind of weird that all this is actually contained under a roof, that it is indoors, yet gives the appearance of being outdoors. But just something about the way it was portrayed, and then learning of its real location, I think made the concept of liminal spaces really click for a lot of people. I know it was one of the earliest images I had seen on the subject. And it's not just the natural toy box feeling that this thing gives off. I think in large part it also has to do with the fact that you're surrounded on all sides, on many levels, by curtains that can be pulled back where anyone can be peering down at you. It's like it triggers your sense of alertness on all sides. Which is why we're gonna get out of here now. Come on. If I can. Thank you. So if that's here, then what's beyond the other window? Huh. Another room just like this one. Bring new meaning to viewers like you. It's an endless art gallery. You know, when my girlfriend Elster came up to visit last year, we went to the Met in New York, and it really is like the Backrooms. It's just a disjointed grid of different rooms and exhibits, and it has a system, but that system is kind of complicated if you haven't been there before. And even my brother had kind of warned me about it. He had said that one time he ended up getting separated from his friends and he was kind of lost in there for hours. This was a little bit before the Backrooms became popular, but had he the knowledge and the vocabulary, he would have described it as such. And yet amid all this perfection, something so tarnished and dirty. I don't know whether that should be comforting or deeply concerning. Look at this. It's like a fire break in the Federal Bureau of Control. And there's something about this, the warning signs, everything that's posted up, the grid-like nature of this. Oddly enough, this is the image that makes the Backrooms feel truly infinite. Like everything you've been through, all this wandering, all this wondering if you're ever going to see real sunlight again. It's all just one of endless quadrillions in this infinite chest of drawers. Let's head back. I'm starting to get all existential again. We need to leave. You know, I wonder if that's what stargazers felt like when they discovered that there were near infinite planets and star systems and galaxies. Maybe even infinite universes. For now, let's just worry about making it down this hall. Fire exit, keep clear. It's going upward. That could be a good thing. It's not that good. Part of me is reassured, thinking, oh, maybe this could be where we entered. But I also know we haven't climbed nearly high enough for that. But I guess that's the end of the gallery, so here we are. There have been plenty of turns I missed, and it looks like I made it all the way back here, so let's take some of them, I guess. Another one of those places where things seemingly clip with the geometry, making me think that it may just be incredible fortune that people tend to walk around in here rather than just simply being bisected by the walls. We didn't take this turn, which leads to quite a huge space. It's like a hotel ballroom or something. Complete with laying couch for only your most lavish guests. And falling hall for only your most disruptive ones. This music is like being overcome with a strange nostalgia. The falling hall is where it's at. I can actually see a bottom. I don't think somebody tore their way through all this. Look at this. This has got to be like 6 feet of concrete and wooden rebar. So what did do this? Look at that, a cord for this running straight into the wall. And I mean into the wall. All right, down here in Suspiria Vision. Into the pools. Oh, there's such a reflection on this dark water, I can't even tell how deep it is. Not very. I can climb up here, but... Oh, there's a ladder! Yep, come on. Yeah. Unfortunately, that doesn't help me very much. Going upward is and has been my goal. I can see images projected in the water, but I can't make out what they are. There's only ever one place to go, but at least this is a jump I can make. Look at that. Actual void between spaces. We're seeing it. But first, what's in this pool? Hated that. Oh, that was so disorienting. Could very easily get lost down there. Okay, hop. If this is where to end up anyway, then we might as well start from here. Save ourselves a lot of walking. I feel like I'm pushing through curtains in order to get backstage. Huh, a dead end. Oh my god! Ah! Ah! And you're just like a cycle. Okay, you know what? You know what? Maybe, if you're really good and don't give me anywhere else to go, I'll come back to you a little later. But for now, screw this. I hate this place. That was the one active bit of hostility that we've seen, or at least seemingly. Is it? I don't know what to think. Can we open this? It really is just a closet, though. What about what's down here? Just another... We'll call it an elevator. We actually can see what's up there. Alright, fire exit. We'll try it your way again. Although it's a way that's been tried many times before. So let's just pick some directions and start walking, I guess. Off into the lesser lit areas always seems to be my go-to. Although, as we know, that's no indicator of progress. Nothing is. In fact, sometimes it's even a complete dead end. But what about straightforward? God, what a joy it would be to see a door like that on your way out. God, what a joy it would be to see that door. So many loops, so little time. But I think if we use our old strategy, just pick a direction and go, we will find a flat wall. Just a flat wall against the back. Okay. Unless indeed. This place is starting to feel like it's constructed from Lego bricks. Do you remember where we first entered? A perfect grid. I miss that. Sort of. Not gonna lie, this is more interesting to look at, but look. It's almost like it's actively sealing areas off. And greatly opening others. I spoke far too soon. I take it back, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said anything. Once more, it's like, oh, you want a grid? Here's a grid. The only thing that could make this worse is if the lights were off. Okay, hug the walls. Use the diagonals. That's how we're going to see what's around us. No. Look at that. The ceiling is like shiny. I can feel the crunch of the carpet under my feet, but it's like all the dampness and moisture is trapped on the ceiling. Well, we've run the edges. But is there any exit? Unless it's going to be really, really mean and make us find something in the middle of all this. I mean, I keep seeing what I'm pretty sure is where we entered. That's about the only thing that stands out amid all of this. Right now, I can't even find that. There we are. I'm not seeing any gaps in the floor either. Oh! Wait. How did I miss this? I must have been looking down those diagonals when I passed it. Well, I'm grateful to be out of there. Man, how can you have sensory overload in something that's so simple? This is just gonna get me right back to the classic image, isn't it? Yeah! Ow, my poor legs. Yep. So maybe there's something else through here. The amount of backtracking is incredible. But whatever. Oh. We are making some sort of progress again. That's a chair. For a second I thought it was like a folded corpse. And between the two of them, I'm not sure which I'd rather see. Okay, those are some mighty scary shadows it's showing me. Let's try and keep our distance from these corners, shall we? There's an opening. There's an opening. Oh, it's not going to make it easy for us. End of a hall. Another small gap. Imagine if we could see an exit sign through there, an elevator going up. But this seems to bring us to where we were going anyway. Once more, there's a terrifying green glow that I'm starting to think actually does signify something, including tracking errors, apparently. Every once in a while in VR, you just get jump scared by your own hands. It's a real problem. What a productive day. Thank you. Thank you all for your time. Let's reconvene and do the same thing tomorrow. Oh, man. You know, there is a real reason why I did lethargy pools in between this and the oldest view mall. Valley View Mall, I believe the map is called. But going for the opposite end of a space seems to have served us well so far. So maybe let's keep it up. Nope. From one corner to the next. Hey, if I just keep running, sooner or later I have to reach something, right? Oh, God, well, there's one of those imperfections in the wall. Maybe where someone tried scraping at it, or maybe where some beast thrashed someone against it. Those don't look like markings the science team would leave. I am choosing to trust this. Arrows? A little more help? Other than that, it's all so faded I can't read it. Was it maybe left by the same person who left those markings all the way up above in the sort of darkened office area? That was a long, long while ago. Was this meant to show the way to where you'd been, or for all I know, you were just marking the way back for yourself? Could have sworn I had just heard footsteps. I don't know. Maybe after being here so long, it's starting to get to me. Is this just... Wait. Is this where we came from? Or it is. It's where we came from. Look at that exit there. Just a cutout between rooms. Just to be clear, I have come back an absolutely long way. This is new. This is new. This is new. So many dead ends, but this is new. And not at all good. But there is light down there, although I can't tell if that's floor or more wall from this perspective. We've got the health. Let's go. Yep. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, at least they've changed their carpet style. So, you know, change of pace. Other than that, though, it seems like this is just like anywhere else. Then again, what was I expecting? Why do I always expect that a breakthrough means escape? All a breakthrough means is, well... Wait. Wait! Wait! I know this! I know this! Hang on! If I go this way... If I go this way... Right over here... If I keep moving in this direction, I'll find the wall! No way! I went down! I went down! This way, this way. Just follow it. Just follow it out. There's the doors that have closed. And those ladders that creep peekily out of the corner. No, one of these has to be open. Yes, no. My combination, it should still work, right? And just like that, one moment we're deeper and more hopeless than we've ever been. The next, here we are. Well, let's remember to close this so that nothing follows us back. Huh. You know, after all that time, I kind of expected to find people wondering where I had gone. Maybe a search party coming in, people manning their stations. But as far as I can tell, it's almost like no time has passed at all. Well, maybe I'll have to pass my findings on. And maybe I should have been wearing one of those suits and masks the entire time, but they are definitely going to want to hear about what I had to say. Whew. I can hear the phones ringing, and last night they were just creepy. Now, I can't help but be overjoyed. Huh. Signal discrepancies around lateral division D, possibility of other signal zones. I didn't realize I could pick this up. Maybe it's even possible to pick things up if I carry it around, but you know what? I think that's a little beyond me for right now. I don't think I'm going to be going back for a good long while. Not right now. I'm just going to head upstairs, take the elevator as soon as the janitors come back to let me out. I'm going to eat the biggest, greatest meal of my life. And then I'm going to go to bed and have the best sleep of my life. And maybe then, I'll be willing to go back in with a team with me and all the navigational skills and rappelling equipment and seismometers and radars and everything. But all that will have to wait until right now when we do a no-clip run. Come on, you did not think I was going to let this go without one, right? How could I? This is so cool. All of this, everything we explored last time. Ooh. And maybe something additional. All right here, just so that we can have that joy of making our way back. That is so cool. This is just such an amazing project. And by the way, map creator or creators, you are insane for doing this, for even thinking to take this on. I'm imagining that all of these are locations and ideas that have been explored in Kane Pixel's Backrooms series, and you know, I really think that between the Valley View Mall and this project, this is definitely going to be the thing that finally gets me to check those videos out. But this is something that just really captures the scale of it, the emptiness, and well, the horrifying nature of feeling like you can't turn back. But curiosity is what constantly pushes you forward. Remember, we weren't truly stuck in this until we dropped down from the town. Everything after that was our own fault. But wait, there's a whole section here. A whole section here that we never saw. In fact, it's through that narrow gap. Maybe one of the pits somewhere would have actually deposited us here. You just know it's huge when it feels even bigger in the no-clip run. And I'm surprised. I mean, this has only taken 2 hours to record, or a little bit more. I can't believe that looking at this. I can't believe this is all within the max hammer size, especially with everything so far apart. These were some long falls we survived. But I think that contributes to this map being paced in a really unique way that very much serves the horror of the Backrooms. It's the repetition. It's taking every breakthrough you occasionally get and just yanking it away from you. Because no matter how many things you experience, no matter how many aberrations you discover, there's always those tangled yellow walls waiting for you further down the line. And every aberration, every new place that it shows you, it acts as a momentary respite, and then, you know, it only lasts for a few seconds because ultimately it only feels like it represents progress. It represents progress right up until the moment you realize, I'm just looking for the next thing, over and over and over. And just because of its repetition, the only one that really feels like it's taking that away from you is the classic Backrooms themselves. But it's not like it's really any different. It's not like you're really ever any closer to the exit until all at once, all of a sudden, you just are one day. Easy come, easy go. That's the way it works here. Oh my god, ow. Ow! I think I just electrocuted myself on the power lines. Is that a real feature? Hang on, wait. I was trying to show you guys something. 1 second. Yeah. Let's get back down there. Yeah, see what you do about my no-clip Backrooms. Jeez. Where was that? That was over here, I believe. This time we're going to be a bit more careful with the no-clip. That is so funny. It's like a punishment for no-clipping. See, if it was just pure nonsense, if it was just those yellow walls all the time, I don't think it would have the same effect, but when it groups things together like this, there is like just enough of a tenuous connection between the setting, the props, all of that, to make you think that you can learn something useful. And, well, if you could, I never did. because that's so much worse torture. Alright. I just realized we never actually did climb this ladder. Yep. Oh, it's another furniture showroom. Didn't we see this? I feel like we did at some point. Or at least we saw something like it. Can we push you out of the way? Does not seem so. This area is quite off limits. And much like in a dream, when an area is off limits, you've just got to accept it, no matter how easy a solution there may be. See, now if only we could find the strongman who moved all these couches. Now, this is a whole part of the map we've not yet explored. Oh, but someone strong did. It's like a hallway on a sinking ship. And gravity is not what it used to be here. Ooh. Even a representation of a human face feels so unique in here. So you know what this is reminding me of? It's kind of reminding me of the nightmare sequence in the original Max Payne. Something about the simple geometry and textures. And these creepy, creepy images on the wall. Should I be glad I never encountered this? The echo of a distant trumpet while looking at a bloody wall and a bike behind some bars. Once more, I don't know what to do with that information. It just chilled me in a way I didn't know I could be. That hum is growing louder, which led me to suspect that I would see this soon. Okay, so there was even more of this that I didn't even know about. Well, I guess that figures. Am I really going to explore all this? Not really. I think I am so done with the Backrooms for now. You know, oddly enough, I did have a stronger sense of, like, nausea than usual playing this. And I think it's because of just, like, the dizzying feeling of having no idea where I'm going. That panic increasing as I more desperately look. Excuse me? There's no way. There's no... It is! Wait, so, oh my god, even after I left this tunnel, I still had a way back up. If I had just climbed up that ladder the first time, I would have found my way back so much earlier. And instead, everything that came after came after. Well, don't I feel silly? Okay, the important thing, I guess, is that I made it back in the end, and if we no-clip around here, you can see that this is missing the greater facility. But other than that, they actually share a lot of overlap. Officer Flat Screen here with just one little addendum after the fact, because this area has been bugging me since I recorded. And what I've realized now is, I mean, I realized at the time that this was an area that we had seen in the previous map, that actually, this was upstairs before, but it never really clicked for me just what the significance is. All the way down here, after all this falling, we look through that narrow gap, and it's the same one that we looked through up above, just from the other side. And I thought it was bizarre that this is down here instead of up there on this map, but look around. There's actually a handful of those little ramps, the places where we could drop down. And what I didn't know at the time was that one of the main features of this map compared to the first one is the fact that a lot of these holes, a lot of these drops, instead of just killing you, they actually bring you places now, especially at the grid where all the boards are placed. If we hang out too much in the subway station, we can indeed find this again. But let's see, if we tried to exit through here, where would that take us? Yep. Ow. Well, that doesn't really help me too much, does it? Back to here, so it does actually bring us back to ground level, and presumably any of the other pitfalls we can find throughout the map would also bring us down there. However, if we were to, say, jump down here, oh, look at that. We found an entirely new place up inside the drop ceiling. That's an implication that means so much, and it did not hit me until afterwards, but look at this. This is a whole angle that I didn't even get to see before. I made a comment before about how lucky we were that we're actually able to wander around and not just stuck halfway on a wall. Well, as it turns out, that is a possible outcome. If we come through here... Oh, there's something here. Hang on. Can you find him? I don't know what that is, but to me it looks like a headless, armless torso. I can't help but be reminded of the Pink-Black maps, where they managed to get their sense of scale and sort of shared world by having the maps be physically connected by loading screens. This does it in a slightly different way, where I don't think there's actually a loading screen were I to go down that tunnel. But there's overlap here, and that overlap exists so that we can get the joy of going through all of this, sorry, not joy, terror, and then getting the joy of being brought back here just abruptly. It's not like Dreamcore, where there's some elevator where we see it and we know, yes, we're saved. We just take one particular ramp out of many, and suddenly the impossible has happened, and we're right back here after there had been no indication of non-Euclidean space. But once you crawl back through here, once you start seeing the familiar once more, there is no better feeling after the combined, 4 or more hours I've spent exploring all this. But you know what? I think now I'm ready to take a rest. Oh no, right after we find out what was going on with that crazy green thing down there. It was through here. It's doing it. It's like the rooms themselves are breaking apart. Oh. Wait. No, it actually transported me. Is this something I haven't seen? Wait. That tape. I was right! The green glow, it was all connected all along! Maybe that's like an acid reflux, a way of spitting out what's not supposed to be here. That's twice, 2 different distinct ways I could have ended up back here. This is so cool and ambitious, and I would like to think faithful of the Kane Pixels series, but I guess I'll have to check them out for myself to know for sure. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try these maps out for yourself, they're both in one link. That link will be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.